to another segment of AutoCrit's Coffee Break. My name is Bekah Brinkmeier, best-selling author and author coach here at AutoCrit. And today we are absolutely thrilled to be chatting with JB Harris, author of The Immigrant's Wife. JB is one of our members here at AutoCrit, so we are going to be diving into their writing journey and getting some insights that might just help your writing as well. JB, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to talk about your book. But first, do you want to tell our audience a little bit about who you are as an author?
Sure. My name is JB Harris, and The Immigrant's Wife was my debut novel. Prior to that, I was published as a short story writer. But I think I've made the change that I loved writing the first book, and I've written a second, and I'm now working on a third. So that's me as a writer. I also have started Future Famous Authors, which is a movement that I'm trying to promote that is introducing readers to the best books they haven't heard of yet by introducing them to lesser known authors.
Incredible. I love that. There are so many books out there that do not get the attention they deserve.
That is so true.
I've read a few, being someone who's hybrid published, so I do have small press titles as well as indie titles. There are days on some of those pen names where I'm like, but my book meets all of these. Just read it. So before we talk about The Immigrant's Wife, and I definitely want to hear more about it, I would like, just as a way to give some tips out to our fellow writers, something that impacts us all at some point. Usually there are a few outliers that maybe this doesn't happen to, but the dreaded writer's block. I don't know about you, but when it hits hard. For me, it doesn't hit very often, thank goodness, but every now and then I am just staring at my screen going, I have no idea what I'm doing. What's your go-to strategy or mindset shift or whatever it is that you use to break through getting stuck?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because in a way, I'm stuck now. And what I've been doing really is I spend way too much time on promotion and querying and not enough time on writing the next book. The way to get out of that, I think, is just to sit down and do it. And if you have to stare at a blank screen, you stare at a blank screen. I'm a journal writer, in the sense that when I'm starting an event, when I'm starting a project or I'm stuck on a project, I'll handwrite in my journal. And I have that 3-page mentality I learned from one of my many creative writing books of just write and just put anything on the page. Usually I'll start with, I can't think of a thing to write, and I'll just keep writing for those first 3 pages. And by the end of that, I'm usually written myself into somewhere in the story that I can pick up where I left off.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's similar to the strategy that I use most often, other than, angsty moaning about it to myself in my office. But one of the things I love to do is free write weird, mundane things that my characters are doing. So if I'm writing one of my romances and I've got my, super sexy cowboy, as one does, and no, my project will be to take him to the DMV. It doesn't matter what era he's from, he's going to the DMV, and I'm going to write about that interaction and make it as weird as humanly possible. And all of a sudden, that mundane action, it triggers my creativity in the weirdest way. I'm not necessarily advocating this as the end all be all to beating writer's block, but if you're stuck, consider making your characters do weirdly mundane things. I don't know. It works for me.
I love that. I'm going to try that.
Yes. It's also deeply entertaining and has come up with some weird extra content that I give my readers in my newsletter, because they're like, hey, do you want to read this scene that has no context whatsoever? Enjoy it.
Exactly. And you never know, it might end up having context and being part of the story.
It's true. I have definitely turned free writing plot bunnies into whole books before. It's both a blessing and a curse. So let's talk about writing these books. All right. You have several projects, it sounds like, we're working on. You have The Immigrant's Wife. When did this come out?
Immigrant's Wife actually came out in May of 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still promoting it, of course, because it's from a small press. Although I'm traditionally published, they don't have the money for publicity. So
Mhm.
a lot of people, it's brand new, and I might as well have released it yesterday, right?
It's so, so true. It's as someone who also has small press titles, um, be prepared, friends. Be prepared to hit the pavement with your marketing, whether you're self-pubbed or actually even my friends that are agented and larger publishing houses. You're gonna have to market your work.
Yep, that is so true. Something they didn't tell us in school, right?
Well, we try to make it a little easier on you with AutoCrit. So I do have the question is, have you had a chance to play with Market Fuel yet?
I have not. Oh, I want to know more about Market Fuel. I have not known about that or played with it.
Are you prepared to take some promotional anxiety off your plate?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Market Fuel, it, as you know, with our tools, we take what you've written. We're not changing anything you wrote, but we're going to analyze it and we're going to give you feedback about what you wrote. And Market Fuel is a part of our story analyzer, and it is going to pull out a full market analysis of your book based on everything that you wrote. It's going to pull your similar titles. It's going to tell you why they're similar, which is so important. If I write romantasy and it just says your book is like ACOTAR, but doesn't say your book is like ACOTAR because you also have winged baddies, then it's really not as helpful to me. It's going to give you categories, including BISAC categories, suggestions. It's going to give you keywords that you can try, as well as some sales copy that you can use in your ads and lead magnet ideas.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And that's what I hear most from newer writers. Like, how do I figure out what a comp for my book is, right?
Oh, yes, all the time.
And also always saying, well, there aren't any. Well, of course there are, right? You need to find something that is similar but different. And I think people really get stuck with that. It sounds like that tool will be really helpful.
Amazing. So, how do you use AutoCrit in your process?
So my favorite thing about AutoCrit is the analysis that you can get when it's done, and also chapter by chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So what I usually do is when the book is finished, I will run the analysis and it will give me, 80% this, 90% that, 80% this, and you know what to work on. Because I think as a writer, no matter how many books you've written, if you don't have either an agent or a writing coach or a really 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 strong beta reader next to you, you don't know when it's done. And so being able to look at that analysis and see, okay, you're being a little repetitive, and then to go back and have it highlight repetitive words or repetitive phrases and be able to work with those and say, how can I say that better? How can I say that more succinctly? Do I really need this? It's been invaluable. And then when I'm on something more than the first revision, to go in and do it chapter by chapter and say, where does this chapter fall? Is it good enough to send out? When you're querying, if they want the first three chapters, well, where do the first three chapters? Am I falling into what looks like professional writing, or do I have some things to do before I send it out?
Exactly. I use the analysis tools for both my ghostwriting clients because I can't access my regular beta team for my ghost clients. I'm bound by NDA. I cannot have anyone else look at this work, but I am able to use, because we are a completely secure platform. We would never, we are AI assist, so we would never train on work, and everything, your work is so secure and private that I'm able to use that to get that really valuable developmental feedback that I need without having to share it, with my beta team who might get it if it was on one of my pen names.
Right.
I would like to hear more about The Immigrant's Wife. So if I just came up to you in the grocery store, you told me you were an author, I want you to sell me and our audience your book.
Okay, well, my book is actually a family history mystery. So I was inspired to write it because I was with my grandmother one day and she said, that when she was younger, she remembered seeing a man watching her on the swing sets. And she always wondered if that was her father. And that threw me because I thought we knew her father. And she said, no, 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 that's my stepfather. My real father left when I was 2. So I did all this research and I wrote down for the family what was true, but I didn't get all the answers and I can't live with things that way. So I ended up writing a novel, and it's set in 1913 Boston. And it is the story of a middle-class woman who's 19 who falls in love with a Greek immigrant. And in 1913 Boston, that is not very well accepted. So they buck society, they defy her parents, and they elope. And things are going along as well as can be expected as, you know, you move into the immigrant area of the town and you have to give up the niceties you're used to. She's adapting, and then tragedy strikes. And it's dual point of view. So you get to watch them both as they fight to get back to each other. But they had to give up their, you know, for their love and for their child, they had to give up everything, including each other.
Oh, wow. This, okay, first of all, amazing job. I am immediately intrigued, and I love historical fiction as a reader. I love the themes of reinventing yourself, the themes of found family, and what is found and what is also lost are so evident just in this 30-second pitch for your book. So you've already sold me. Now I want to buy it. Where can I buy it?
Anywhere books are sold. So you can walk into any store, and if they don't have it on the shelf, you can ask them to order it, and they will. And then it's also, of course, on Amazon, where everybody goes to for a quick order. But it is wherever books are sold, ebooks as well.
Amazing. Now, if we wanted to follow your work, where could we follow it?
Well, I am on a ton of social media, so many that I don't remember all of them. So I will tell you the best way to find me is to go to the website, and it is www.jbharrisbooks.com.
Perfect. And I will make sure that that is linked here in our captions so that you can go and investigate all of this wonderful work that JB is doing and hopefully go buy The Immigrant's Wife. This sounds so good. I have a long plane ride coming up this summer, and I feel like let's see, you held up your book. It looks like a kind of long book. Oh, see, this is a good link right there for my plane ride. So I know what I could be reading. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your work and being part of our coffee break today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It has been a pleasure. And for everyone watching, I encourage you to go visit JB's website. Again, that is www.jbharrisbooks.com. It will also be linked in the caption. And get your hands on a copy of The Immigrant's Wife. See you next time.
Everyone, thank you.